Hello, my friends. A very good weekend to all of you. My dear friends, today, being the weekend, I'm just going to talk about the power of speech and why we need to improve our communication skills in any language, in fact. And in this case, in English being the international business language. Right? Now, the power of speech. What are the things that are achieved by a good orator? That means a person who speaks very well. Even as far as I'm concerned, when I'm speaking, giving my video talks, I must also keep in mind these points, right? So, power of speech. What are the things that are achieved with this? Number one, we present ideas by our speech or by our talks, right? Number two, we can raise awareness and educate people, right, by giving a speech, by giving a talk. Number three, we share knowledge and information by giving a speech. Number four, we express our opinions by giving a talk or a speech. Number five, we can boost our business, those who do business, or even those who work in managerial positions in corporate companies, etc., can find a lot. They can find success by the way they speak, by the way they talk, right? And finally, number six, we motivate and we inspire people by speech. If you speak very well, there are a lot of things that you can achieve. Nations have been created, governments have been brought down by the power of speech, the way you speak. In our neighboring country that we have today, Bangladesh, it was previously known as East Pakistan. It became Bangladesh practically by the power of a speech that was given by the father of the nation, Sheikh Mujibur Rahman, on the 26th of March, way back in the 70s, 1970, who was, rather I should say, who's the father of the present Prime Minister of Bangladesh today, Sheikh Hasina. In that famous speech, he moved the millions of people in Bangladesh to go for freedom and independence. By that famous speech he gave on 26th of March, এবারের সংগ্রাম স্বাধীনতার সংগ্রাম এবারের সংগ্রাম মুক্তির সংগ্রাম, that motivated the people. It was the way he spoke and delivered the speech. So the power of this speech, those who have heard that speech will understand. Even if you look at or go back to the Roman times, from the famous play by William Shakespeare, Julius Caesar, where we see in that famous speech the person Mark Antony moving the mind of the crowd, the hundreds and thousands of people that had gathered in the marketplace to condemn Julius Caesar. How? He changed their mind with his famous speech. Friends, Romans, and countrymen, I come to bury Caesar, not to praise him. That speech, at the end of his speech, the crowd were chasing the people who were against Caesar, and they had all become supporters of Julius Caesar again, his death. That is the power of speech. So we must learn to speak well in a manner that people listen to us and we can motivate people. And for that, you need to speak with the correct accent, the correct pronunciation, and the right modulation of your voice. Don't sound flat, it will be very boring. Okay? So do keep that in mind. And you see, it's not an interactive class here like in my classroom I do, but I'm going to slowly give an old speech from that play, Julius Caesar, just a few lines, I would like you all, if possible, listen to it and note it down, write it down, and aloud repeat the speech. This will help you to become a good orator. Okay? Just a practice. So, guys, do take out a pencil or a pen and a sheet of paper if you don't have an exercise book and note down what I'm saying. If you can't do it right now, listen to this video again and note it down and repeat this speech as if you are Mark Antony at the marketplace giving this speech, right? And try to emulate, that means copy the way I am speaking or I am giving that speech from that famous play of called Julius Caesar. The play is called Julius Caesar by Shakespeare. It's a bit in an old classical English, but you would understand what it means. If there are any words or anything that you are not understanding, please put it in the comments. I'll be more than happy to get back to you and explain that word or that sentence. All right? So here we go. The famous speech, the famous motivational speech of Mark Antony. That was the guy who gave the speech. He said, "Friends, Romans, and countrymen, I come to bury Caesar, not to praise him. The evil that men do lives after them. The good is oft interred with their bones. So let it be with Caesar." Right? So very simple, 2 or 3 lines. So keep repeating this. It's a small practice. It'll help you a lot. Right? Now I come to another point. These are things which, are very simple things, but are, in the long run, very big. Whether you do your own business or whether you want to be an outstanding employee in any multinational or corporate organization. The other thing is greeting people. A large number of people, especially I find here in Bengal, they seem to lack a lot of, what shall I say, etiquette, manners, protocol. We greet people by saying namaste, namaskar. That's the cultural way we greet people. In addition to that, we also, in the business world, in the educational world, greet people in the international business language as well, which happens to be English. How and what time or what do we say to greet people? There seems to be a lot of confusion. Like suddenly in my office the other day, I walk in one guy at about 9 at night, and he says, "Hello, sir, good night." So I said, "Are you going home?" He says, No, you're coming in, so I'm wishing you." So I said, "No, you say good evening. You're not going away." So anyway, let me explain. Technically speaking, even 1 second after midnight, that's 12 o'clock, is morning. It's AM. It's not PM. So when we meet anyone for the first time, anytime after midnight, we say good morning. If I bump into somebody at about 12:30 at night, I'll say good morning. How are you? And this good morning will carry on till 12 noon, that is 12 in the afternoon. After 12 in the afternoon, till 4 in the evening, we say good afternoon, right? After 4 p.m., that is 4 in the evening, till midnight again, whenever we meet somebody for the first time, it is always good evening. If I meet somebody at 11 at night also for the first time, I'll say, "Hi, good evening." Now, when do we say good night? Normally, we would say good night if we are leaving or departing and going away after meeting somebody, anytime usually after 8 o'clock in the evening. Normally, if we talk with someone and then we go to visit a relative or a friend and we're leaving at about 6 o'clock, at that time we normally wouldn't say, "Okay, good night." We'll say normally, "Okay, bye-bye, take care, have a good evening, see you again." But usually after 8 o'clock, we will say, "All right, bye, good night, have a good sleep." 8 o'clock, if I say good night, doesn't mean at 8:30 he's going to go to sleep. That's not my concern. He may sleep at 11, 12, whenever he feels like. But normally we will say good night at the point of departure after 8. So these are small things. Do keep these little things in mind. They'll be very helpful. And for heaven's sake, keep with you always, or wear with you always, good manners, etiquette, and good behavior. Greet people. Never forget courtesy. It doesn't cost you anything, but in the long run, you will gain a lot. Don't be ill-mannered. Okay? That's all for today in this little bit of a talk. We will get into more academic type of things in my next video, which I assure you will be within 48 hours. All right? Till then, take care. Bye-bye.